Look at the front where it says Ames real big.
Hi, hello everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Here we are doing a driving video, and today I'm at Presque Isle State Park in Erie, PA. I've done a driving video here in the past, I know, but I figured I wanted to do another one for you, kind of an updated one. Sorry, I had to adjust the camera. But here we are, at Presque Isle State Park. It's a very windy day too, so I figured I wanted to do a driving video while I'm here, and without music, give you the natural sounds of Presque Isle. I won't talk a whole lot. I'll let you guys enjoy the sounds of the park and the wind and the car. So anyway, just real quick though, this is my favorite place in Pennsylvania. I love this park. I support this place a lot, and I've just purchased another license plate like I used to have on my old car that sponsors the Presque Isle Partnership and the Lighthouse. It's a Pennsylvania plate, and it's $49.50, and half of that money goes towards the Lighthouse and the park. So I'm happy to support that and get a nice plate that says Presque Isle Partnership with the Presque Isle Lighthouse on the back. But anyway, here we are. It's a nice day. It's probably about 80 degrees. It's August 2nd when I'm filming this. And the lake is slowly going back down. It's been high, very high, this whole year and all of last year because of the amount of rain that the area got and all the Great Lakes region got in the last couple of years. And with winter being warm, the lakes never froze over as good as they should have, and that caused the water to remain high. But it's finally starting to go down, and this place is still very, very much open for everyone to enjoy. A couple places are underwater. You can't access some of the trails and whatnot, but about 90% of the park is accessible. Some beaches are closed because of erosion, because of the high lake levels, and especially like right now with the high winds, there is a beach hazard statement and small craft advisory in effect. And the waves are pretty big for Lake Erie standards. To me, they're nothing because I'm used to the ones that go over your head at the Outer Banks that are 5 to like 10 feet high sometimes. So, but anyway, I'll be quiet now. I might talk a little bit off and on as we drive through Presque Isle State Park. But anyway, enjoy everyone. Just real quickly too, I realize I'm driving in the left lane right now, but I am doing so because there are no cars behind me, and instead of seeing the back of another vehicle, I want you guys to be able to see as much of the park as possible. So it's no fun when you're behind another car and that's all you see in the video. So that's why I'm doing this. If a car were to come up behind me, I'll move over into the right lane so they can pass, even though they shouldn't, because the speed limit is 25 and I'm doing 25 right here. And if you speed in this park, you will get a citation for speeding. The park rangers hide all over, and they do issue citations for speeding. So don't think about it if you come here and do that. I've seen that happen many times before, and I've seen where the state or where the park rangers hide. So be respectful, be safe. Everybody's here trying to enjoy the park, and most importantly, why are you in a hurry? You're here to relax and have fun. You don't need to hurry. I'm glad to see that most people abide to the speed limit. Some don't. And some go really, really slow. I've had that happen too, where I've been going 25, and then before you know it, I get behind a car and we're doing 10 out of the park. And it's a long drive out of the park, going 10 miles per hour until you get to the double lanes. Because at one point it's a single lane each way. We're coming up on the ranger station, and one of their accesses, you might see the cones there, that's underwater because of the lake levels being so high. The lagoons and the other ponds in here are all raised as well. Sorry, just trying to adjust the camera. Coming up on the waterworks area here. This is where Discover Presque Isle used to take place every summer. They would have all the tents and vendors here, and activities for kids, and other kinds of interesting things for everybody to enjoy here. And because of traffic being so bad and limited parking, as you can see, there's not many places to park except the lot on my right side and along the road here. So, and I miss it being here, but I understand why it was moved. It was moved to Beach 11 a couple of years ago, and it's been a lot better since. The traffic, it's a lot better to deal with. It's not as bad. Now, when you're trying to park to get to Discover Presque Isle, that's where you run into some traffic as they try to funnel you into the parking lots there. And they even suggest that you park at Beach 10 or other places, and you can take a free shuttle bus to get to the event. It works out. It's very nice, and they can actually fit a lot more vendors there than they used to. Now, Discover Presque Isle was canceled this year because of the virus, understandably so, and while I'm bummed, they're already talking and planning for next year's Discover Presque Isle event, which is going to be a banger. So we're really looking forward to it. We're going to have a lot of fun. And hopefully you'll be able to join us, because you know I'll do some videos. And maybe you can come up here, check it out. It's always the last full weekend of July. Like this year it would have been the 24th, 25th, and 26th. We're going to go straight ahead here. If I make the left-hand turn where that MKZ just did and where this RAV4 is about to, that will take you to some of the beaches as well as the Lighthouse, Presque Isle Lighthouse. You go this way, it takes you all the way across to the other side of the park, down towards the Perry Monument. if you're lucky, sometimes you'll see turkey along the side of the road. We were here last weekend, obviously, for our annual trip for what would be DPI. But when we were driving around the park, we saw a bunch of turkey, a turkey and all of her little ones. I guess they call them poults, I guess is what they're called. There were probably 6 of them, and it was really adorable. And then they happened to wander onto the street here, and thankfully the cars in front of us were responsible and stopped and or drove around them so they wouldn't hurt the turkeys. Boy, look how choppy that water is. That's how windy it is out here today. I wouldn't be surprised if we have water blowing up onto the road here up ahead because the lake is still very high. Yeah, definitely would not want to be on a boat out there today. A small one anyway. Sorry, camera timed out. I had to stop and hit record again. It's very, very windy out here, so hopefully the wind isn't making too much of a racket in the video. Still a beautiful day out here. Still beautiful enough to enjoy the park in many ways. Some people are going swimming. There is an increased risk of rip currents, which, yes, can happen here. I was caught in one many years ago. It wasn't that big of a deal. Not like in the ocean, where they take you way out there and they're a lot more dangerous. Here in the lakes, they can still get pretty dangerous, but they're not nearly as bad. Oh wow, yeah, this parking lot here is getting a lot of water on it. Look at it coming over the trail. It was already high to begin with there, but with the wind blowing, it's pushing all this water onto the trail and almost to the road. This right here is the Perry Monument. This is to remember the Battle of Lake Erie and Misery Bay. It was called Misery Bay because when people would get the flu or that fought here, when they got sick and when they passed away, it was the middle of winter and the lake freezes over. So what they would do is they would bury the soldiers and bury those that got sick under the ice in the water to keep them cold. And then when spring would come, when the ice would melt and the ground would thaw out, then they would give them a proper burial. I know it sounds a little gruesome, but that's what they did. Coming up on Beach 11. It's how you access the North Pier Light, which I've also done a video on, and the Coast Guard station here at Erie. And there's what is called Horseshoe Pond, where there are boathouses. There are houses that float out on the water. People live there. And I think recently, good old Pennsylvania fashion, are now taxed. So now you have property taxes if you live there. Before they were exempt. But Pennsylvania being a money-hungry state, that's what they did. But that would still be really fun to live in one of those boathouses. Now, of course, you have to maintain them yourself. And a lot of them are floating on the water by those big 55-gallon drums or other tanks. And you have to go down into the water and inspect them to make sure they're not taking on water or leaking, so your house doesn't sink. I think that would be okay, though. That would be worth it, except in the wintertime. We're also going to be approaching Beach 10, Budney Beach. That is the closest point of Presque Isle to Canada. My aunt always says the story behind Budney Beach is the guy by the name of Budney who swam across Lake Erie. It was either from Canada to here or to Canada from here, and did it successfully. I know others have done it, but he was the first one, apparently. I'm not sure how true that story is, but that's what I'm going by. Always give pedestrians the right of way. Give them plenty of room, especially people on bikes here. Even though they have their own multi-purpose trail, sometimes the trail runs alongside the road like it does right here. And when there are a lot of people on there, they kind of spread out a little bit further and get closer to the road, so just give them some space. We want this park to be safe and available for everybody to enjoy. We also like to keep it clean. Please do not litter here. I can't stress that enough. I see it all the time on the beaches where people leave their garbage on the beach. It's disrespectful. It's gross. And think about the animals that you could potentially hurt or kill. Use common sense. If you come here and say you bring food or whatever, bring a bag. Use it for garbage. You don't have to bring a whole trash bag if you don't have it. Bring a shopping bag or something. Just take your garbage with you. There are garbage cans and dumpsters all over this peninsula. Be respectful, but have fun. And we're here at Beach 10 right now. My favorite beach in the whole park. Okay. We're going to pull over here and let some of these cars go by, especially the Honda, because they don't know what they're doing or where they're going. Okay. Now that some of these cars have passed us by, I'll resume our little driving tour. And again, I'll let you guys enjoy the natural sounds of not only the car, but Presque Isle and the wind, which there sure is a lot of today. on this stretch, we're approaching the Presque Isle Lighthouse. I've done a few videos there in the past, a couple anyway. It is still an active lighthouse. The park owns it, the Presque Isle Partnership. The light is still maintained by the U.S. Coast Guard, as it is still an active navigational beacon. And I'm not 100% sure of the specs. It is an LED light. The old Fresnel lens was taken out years ago. It is an LED light beacon, which I believe, if I'm correct, can be seen up to 11 miles out. Fun fact, at the lighthouse, this road that we are driving on was actually on the other side of the lighthouse. It was on the beach. Back then the beaches were much wider and they stuck further out into the lake. Naturally, erosion changed things, and the big storms that this area got made the beaches a lot smaller and buckled the roadways several times. Eventually it got tiresome to repair the road, and that's why it was flipped over to the other side of the lighthouse. That's a major problem in the Outer Banks. If you're familiar with the Outer Banks in North Carolina, Highway 12 in Rodanthe, especially at S-curves, is notorious for washing out with every storm and hurricane. And they've even done beach renourishment and redone the roadway, and it still doesn't matter. It still washes out, and they're finally building a bridge to bypass that section. It never used to be that bad, but ever since Hurricane Isabel in 2003, it started to become a problem more and more. And in the last 10 or so years, 11 years, it became a major problem because every storm would basically take out the roadway, or at least cover it in the sand, when the ocean would wipe out the sand dunes. Erosion is a problem here at Presque Isle as well. If you saw my video from Beach 10 from early June 2020, or mid-June 2020, the lake completely washed out a section of the beach all the way up to the dune line, whereas in years past that beach would go all the way out to the breakwaters. This is a very long drive along the entire park for the main road. There are a couple of side streets and roads that go towards the marina, and a couple of other piers like the East Pier and the West Pier, as well as some of the other roadways that go to the beach accesses, especially up ahead here. But the main roadway, if I'm not mistaken, is 11 miles long. And that's the whole loop, from the gate back to the gate at the entrance of the park. if you're a fan of the beach, this is a great park to come to. If you've wanted to go to the beach, but say you live too far from the ocean, or you're afraid to go into the ocean, you know, because of sharks and how much more dangerous the ocean typically is versus a Great Lake, this is a great alternative. You don't have to worry about sharks, for one thing. The water is a lot calmer, and the beaches are all guarded here. So they give you an area to swim in, and that's it. You can't go out of the boundaries there. They are very safe. The water is clean, as it is tested weekly for E. coli and other bacteria in the water. And if the tests come back and there are too much E. coli or bacteria in the water, they will post a swimming advisory or close the beach to swimming until the tests come back to lower levels, so people don't get sick. And the reason that happens too is because of runoff. With all of the rain that this area gets, a lot of the storm drains and water works its way back into Lake Erie. Typically, levels of bacteria are higher right after a rain, after a big rain event especially. But for the most part, they're not bad. And Beach 10 is one of the cleanest beaches to go to because you're furthest out into the lake. Beach 1, which is the closest to the land, to the main land, that's usually the first beach to close to swimming because of the bacteria levels that get produced from all the runoff being right there. Because you have to go down a hill, down the bluffs basically, to get down to the park. That was a park official right there. I guess a tree branch fell onto the road. If you do come to Erie and plan to go to Presque Isle State Park, and say you need to spend the night here, may I suggest the Riviera Motel? It's a nice family-run motel. I've done a video there recently. Everything is renovated, the staff is very friendly, and it's very affordable. And you can rent nightly or weekly. And you're right across the street from Waldameer Park, and just a little bit over a mile's drive to the beach here. Maybe not even a full mile. There are plenty of places to eat around here as well. And plenty of fun things to do here at the park. Say the beach isn't necessarily your thing. There are plenty of other things to do here at the park, whether it's hiking, bike riding, you want to fish out on the bay side, just sightsee, bird watch, whatever you enjoy doing. People even horseback ride here. I've seen that before. You can camp here. A lot of people have wedding receptions, graduation parties. This is my favorite place, and I love being able to share this place with you guys. And if you made it all the way through the video, thank you. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I'm glad that I was able to bring just a little bit of Presque Isle to you. It's a reason I love doing videos here and trying to share this beautiful place with you guys that might not be able to make it here. Woo! Really kicking up now. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, give the video a like. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel for more content. And until next time, everybody, take care, stay awesome, and have a K-Marlicious day. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye, everybody.